9 o'clock. They wouldn't know what to do. Look at them.
They won't know what to do. I know. Look at them right now. Look at their weird, stupid faces being surprised that we're live.
Face full of pasta. Like,
oh, I thought I had 15 minutes left.
I mean, that's fair.
Which, welcome to the Laser Source podcast, the number one podcast if you thought you had 15 minutes left. You don't. We're starting live right now with a nice, cool Spindrift. Today's episode is brought to you by Spindrift. Number one drink if you're trying to quit drinking soda.
Just pure cane sugar and corn syrup.
Bro, this shit is so good. There's no cane sugar or corn syrup in this. It's water and carbonation and fruit
aspartame.
Juice. Nope, no aspartame.
Pure cocaine.
No, it's bitter. It's bitter as all hell, dude.
That is cocaine.
It's black tea and lemon.
Nice.
Black tea and cocaine lemon.
But it's pretty good. Actually, I kind of like it. So that's cool. What's up, everybody? How you doing?
By the way, could you tell us what is corn syrup? That's what you.
Yeah, corn syrup is sweet, much like our sponsor, Johnson Plastics Plus, the number one place online to grab all your laser blanks, which you can check out in the new episode that I uploaded. Did you guys watch it? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We did a huge unboxing, lots of new stuff from Johnson Plastics.
There's so much stuff in that box, dude.
It was there wasn't a box. It was like 5 boxes. So that explains a lot of it. Rhiannon is stoked about doing the bamboo episode. I am not looking forward to it, probably because I know better than her.
Right. You're already disillusioned.
But damn, dude, did you guys see the those like giant like butcher
chopping blocks? Yeah, those were bad, dude.
Dude,
I like that.
It's cool, but like it's gonna be hell getting a consistent mark on that. Because I was explaining to her, like it's hard enough when you have like a coaster or something and it's like one slice of bamboo, and the butcher blocks are like 1,000 slices of bamboo, all mixed together in like random orders.
Are you gonna do like the ultimate bamboo guide? Because honestly,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know you like in the video you were saying like, oh yeah, we should do, but then I'm like wondering, are you gonna do it though? Like, because CO2 Galvo, CO2 gantry, UV, everybody always talks about like defocusing. Like, there's like so many like tricks. What's the stuff you pour out? Borax.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Everybody always talks about the borax trick.
Baking soda too, right?
Or is I've seen people do baking soda.
I might touch on that, dude. I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be able to get a consistent mark, and by consistent, I mean all the way through the material, regardless of like, like rings or whatever. What's the word? Grain differences. Yeah. I'm pretty confident, but if I need to resort to tricks, I will. And I think the only machine I'm going to skip is the fiber. I think I'm going to take a hard pass on that.
That's just a fire waiting to happen.
Because it seems like a waste of time. Maybe there's something with like a super high pulse width or something to get like a really tight like energy density on the surface so that you get something before it just catches on fire. But I don't know. And I haven't tried. So we'll see. We'll see if I feel like I've got extra time and I want to fuck around. I'll do it.
That's a laser video right there. Like that's just waiting to happen.
Yeah, just on its own, just fires waiting to happen. We have that. It's called lasered. Anyway, go check out the video. Really, I mean, rather than just like do my normal talk about Johnson Plastics Plus, the video does it for them, and it's pretty solid. We got a lot of cool stuff in there. So if you haven't already watched it, make sure you go check it out. We got the new amber glitter acrylic. Was really cool, like gold, like glitter acrylic was pretty sweet. So we got a bunch of stuff coming with that. Make sure you go check them out. Thanks to Johnson Plastics Plus for sponsoring tonight's episode. We love you guys dearly, and we will chat again next week about that. But in the meantime, lots of people in chat today. Not really. It's actually kind of quiet. I think it's spring. It's spring break here. Is it spring break there, Matt?
I think a month ago.
Yeah, ours too. It was like a month
ago.
Well,
we have snow, so.
Yeah. You have snow?
Hey guys, it's only 30.
Like right now?
Literally, it's going to snow tomorrow.
Oh my god!
So we have smoke shows first. We have spring break pretty late, for that reason. Smoke show, Bronson. What's up, dude? We're gonna talk about Bronson today, and what? That's just suns and high numbers.
Yes.
On your little weather app
90s,
there.
90s, all 90s.
Lara's here. Where's everyone? Generally, the chat is hopping. People are coming though. They're showing up right on time, which is I think we've trained people so hard on the 15 minutes late. Yeah.
They're like, I'm just gonna go take a jump.
We got Mark. Anthony's in chat, schmoozing people. William Dickens. Joe's here from Nevada. What up, Joe? Hey, Pat. From New York. Hey, neighbor. What's going on? Seeing some new names, seeing some old names like Yuri. What's up, Mr. Cheese? Godanto.
I was gonna say Godanto sounds like a cool name.
Yeah, that's a fucking badass name. Vac Fink. What up? Welcome. Laura says Alex is clean shaven, a new man. You like that? I can look decent every once in a while when I want to. And not to sell anybody short, but Kyle's here.
Hey,
we're gonna welcome.
What's up, buddy?
Too. What's up, Kyle?
What up? How we doing?
Better than you. Busy day of moving, I'm assuming.
Busy day of moving. Busy day getting stuff in my eyes. All kinds of stuff.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I love getting stuff in my eyes. That's the best.
Yeah.
Why don't you wear your laser glasses while you're doing stuff?
Mediocre says, Kyle. They're just they're shouting for you in chat.
Hey, Josiah. How's it going, man?
And so that's it. So we've said hi to everybody. We talked very briefly, Kyle, about Johnson Plastics Plus, our sponsor, and we had a little bamboo chat. But that's all you missed, buddy.
Fun.
Yep. You did a cool coaching today. The guy was doing golf clubs. That was neat.
Yeah, it was a very fun session, actually.
I'm inspired to ask some future customers, maybe even that guy might be a decent one to start with. Ask some of our customers of our coaching sessions if we can chop up and toss up highlight reels of their trainings on the channel, because I feel like they'd be really useful. Kyle's never gonna admit to this himself on a live stream during a podcast, but he's an amazing teacher. He's very, very intelligent and
very thorough,
very calm, very thorough and compassionate. And his teaching style is very easy to follow along with. There was a thick language barrier today, and he just cruised right through it like it wasn't even there. And I really feel like those kind of episodes would be helpful to people. It wouldn't obviously be like this guy had a training for an hour today doing golf clubs. And obviously we're not going to post the hour-long thing, right? That wouldn't make any sense. But I feel like we could cut that down to a 10-minute, lightning fast,
or even just
Kyle dropping mad tips kind of a thing.
Just shorts even would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really liked when he was asking if he could rotate his laser workspace so that the golf clubs didn't have to be in his walkway when he was engraving them. And you were like, yeah, that'll take 30 seconds. And he's like, we can do it now. And you're like, we can do it right now. And you guys just sat down and got down to it. And it was literally done in 30 seconds. Things like that, I feel like would be really valuable. So I would like to get that up, but just reflecting on my day. I think that's the really interesting thing I had today. It is a question day, so I'm glad to see questions are coming into chat. Before I ask the guys how they're doing, I will just remind everybody while we're chatting, the second half of the show, guys, we're going to be answering your questions. We're going to be doing it fast because it looks like we've already got a handful of them that need some attention. So make sure you get your chat questions going. Make sure you get your questions going in chat now so that they're there when we go to read questions, because that's why we're here. Let's start with, I know what Kyle's been doing. We all know what Kyle's been doing, just suffering. What up, Matt? I haven't talked to you since last week, dude.
I know, man. We had, so my week was literally just a kid's week, our children. We had the boy's birthday last week, so they turned 8. And then we were supposed to have a cool party for them, and then one of them got sick, and then the other one got sick, and then we just basically shoved everyone in the house together sick. And so that's what my whole weekend was. Friday, one kid stayed home, the other 2 went to school. Just sickness all weekend, snot and grossness. And then Monday, one stayed home, and then finally yesterday. Wait, is today Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. I shoved him out the door Daddy loves you. and like did a tuck and roll out.
So it was like the movie Outbreak.
Basically, one of them was the little Ebola monkey. Yeah, it was Levi.
Gross.
Yeah, just so you know. But yeah, so basically that's going on right now. If you have not talked to your coaches in your life, or if you don't even have coaches in your life, find a way to talk to them. I just had another guy who uses me every year come back, and he needs plaques. We're doing trophies. I'm going to build a trophy for the first time this year. That's something new he wants.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's got a couple of guys who have been on his team for like, oh my gosh, I think like 3 years. Like they started off as sophomores who just kind of did it as like a extra sport, you know, like they were football players and then they did track, but then they actually went to like state and nationals with track. So basically he's like, I really want to do something big for them. So we're going to build a trophy for him where you actually have like the block, marble block that goes up to the columns. Like he wants a 2 or 3 column tier thing. I've never done one before. So I'm going to call some places tomorrow and be like, hey, I need to do this. Please give me the part numbers that I need and do that. But those are big money items. So, and there's really not a lot of work to them. From what I've watched a couple of videos. There's no videos on YouTube, by the way, that I can find where it's like, here's how to build a trophy. So it's like one of those closely guarded secrets. By the way, it's literally just a rod of steel, like a worm rod, where you just put it together. Like I might make a video for you guys. I don't know, whatever. But it's just one of those things where it's return on investment wise and also what it means to people. I mean, you guys, if you've ever seen a kid get like a little trophy, you know what that means. So getting something really big and being able to be a part of that's kind of cool. Then still working on some of the little things. And then there's going to be a market near me soon that I'm going to be working on coming up. So that's another thing. So I'm trying to see about trying some markets. Like this is the year, like everything else is kind of put away. Like everything's kind of on autopilot. So I'm going to try something new just to get out there and see what it's like. So that's it. That's what I got.
Nice. I think I got like 2 more years for I can do markets because my wife works weekends, so it'd just like be me and all 5 boys. And just right now, the chaos, I'd lose probably 3 of them. But I think probably maybe 2 years from now, I'll be able to like solidly attend the market and not like have to worry about like milk cartons.
Same thing here, but I'm thinking of like trying to get them to make something so that they want to stay and sell stuff. So like their little cute faces will be like, hey, come over here.
Yeah,
that's kind of like what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I've always kind of, when I was doing the market tours like 2 years ago, I would have like a section of like regular stuff, and then I kind of had like my section of the kind of tongue-in-cheek, more snarky or like adult-rated things. Yeah. So like having a little section for like kids stuff, like where they did artwork and you would laser engrave it on something or whatever, like something that they make with their own little paws, like that'd be an awesome idea. Just kind of throw it out there and tug at the heartstrings and try and get those sales.
Well, that's literally it. So Evelyn makes these really cool bracelets. Like she's into making bracelets, and she's like, Daddy, I could sell these for like $20 a piece. And I was like, yeah, we might want to bring that price down. But yes, you could. And she's like, you have to know your value, is what she told me the other day. And I was like, what? Like, she's like, I don't know. I heard you say,
yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I was like, okay, know your value. Maybe these are $20 bracelets and I'm an a-hole. But yeah, so that's my thing. And then Cade wants to build birdhouses because he built a birdhouse this year. So he wants to like sell those. And I was like, hey, whatever, we can do some cool designs on the birdhouses. Those will definitely sell people who move down here to Florida and wanting nature and stuff. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. So building a trophy, going to try out going to some of these things this year with the kids. Now that they're old enough to actually go, and we'll see how that actually works out. So if you have any tips or secrets about that, anybody out there in chat, let me know. Because I know some of these people are like expert market people.
Mm-hmm. So I thought you were going to say birdhouse builders. I was like, yeah, I've met some in my day.
Yes, we have we have lots of ornitharians. What is it? Ornithologists. There you go.
Ornithopolis.
Oh,
it's a city of birds.
Club for birds. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. What up?
Okay.
What about you, Anthony? What's good, bro?
I don't know. I just random projects. I mean, I just trying to stay busy. So I've been some knives. This big saw blade, like a 24-inch, like old school.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Terrible.
Oh, good.
Oh no.
Perfect.
I have never run into any kind of steel compound that I could not get a black mark on until last week. And I found this saw blade, whatever the hell it's made out of, I don't know. And it's really old. The guy found it like buried under bat guano in a barn or whatever. But I cannot get a black mark.
Guano.
It's fucked up.
Cannot get a black mark on this steel.
That's because there's a bunch of poop on it.
No, it's been all ground down.
Yeah. Have you tried removing the poop?
No, that never occurred to me.
Have you tried drawing with the poo? You should have just used the poo. Black. Boom.
Just turn on the ghost music.
So what'd you end up doing? You couldn't black mark it. I'm assuming you were doing tests on like the backside or something.
No, just kind of went into it thinking, hey, I've done black marks on 55 different varieties of steel, so this should be no problem. And so
what happened?
The good news is he ground down the metal, and then like it kind of blackened on its own. So I ended up getting like a nice gold mark. Ooh. And so to have the contrast of the gold on the black, we just stuck with that. So
I wonder if he blued it with the heat, like when he was grinding it, like if he did like a little bit of bluing to it or something without knowing it.
I don't think so, because like there was a spot where I sanded it a little bit to try and like get rid of a little ridge, and like it's blackening on its own again. It's just a really weird
crazy
metal that whatever it is, it's
like asbestos.
Like not even knowing my luck. Yeah, knowing my luck, that's probably
getting right down.
They're brake pads from the 60s.
It's a natural ricin culture. It's just like, I'm
just in there creating some mesothelioma in my future.
Fucking A. I did a cool blue thing. Speaking of blued stuff, do you guys remember last week I talked about the little like memorial rock thing, but it wasn't a rock, it was like plaster? I mentioned that. It was like speckled white and gray like plaster, and it was a fake rock with like a heart on it, and she was getting it for her dog that didn't die yet but was probably gonna die soon. It was a whole thing. Anyway, the dog's name was Blue, and Rhiannon was asking me how to do it because we both knew it wasn't a real rock at all. And so we put it on the UV, obvious answer, and we started at 10. Remember, it's backwards for me than for you guys, so bigger numbers are more power. So we started at like 10 frequency, 10 pulse width, and then we went to 15, 15, then 20, 20, then 25, 25. At first it was like white on white, and it sucked, and we kept pushing it just like a little bit harder and a little bit harder, and then right when we hit 25, 25, it turned blue, and the like plastered like was bright blue. And I was like, damn, that's sick. And instead of going to 30-30, we just ran that for like 20 passes, and it added depth, but it was blue the whole time, just shaving off like little layers of this plaster. That's and dope. The cherry on top, the dog's name that we put on the stone was Blue. So it was blue on this like memorial stone. So sick. Nice. Yeah, just total happenstance. Just kind of worked out for me. It was a cool job, though. It was nice when things just like you have like accidents that make things dope. I feel like they don't happen very often.
You're gonna be like, by the way, the dog's name, Red.
Red.
Like, just really, like
he's old yellow.
Yeah.
I really thought that was gonna go sideways. Just saying. That's how usually lasering works out for me when I do stuff like that.
The other thing, and Kyle, I'm gonna have to ask you to do this because I can't, because streaming from this laptop is incredibly unreliable. But I really wanted to show off Bronson's cool new website for him really quick. Not that he's gonna get any customers from the podcast, but I just kind of wanted you guys to see it because I thought he did a really nice job, and it's pretty clean. So we'll give Kyle a second to pull that up. And one last reminder, guys, while Kyle does that, throw your questions down in chat. We're going to start going through them very, very soon, like less than 5 minutes. So if you want to get your question answered, now is a great time. It's always best to try to have us answer them live before going to like chats and stuff, because we can actually like talk through it, and we have each other. We can talk through it together. So you really do get an edge, at least getting us started on crunching your question, even if we have to take it to one of the other platforms later to really sink our teeth into it. Like, getting started here is a great advantage. So plus you pretty much guarantee you're going to get a follow-up from one of us, because we usually don't like leaving things unanswered. So
yeah,
yeah.
Some people in chat are suggesting that maybe that saw blade was cast iron, which kind of was one of the thoughts I had. But then I was like, it's a saw blade. Would they make that out of cast iron? So I don't know. Maybe that is the answer.
Back in the maybe
I was gonna say, like in the 1700s, like all metal was cast iron, wasn't it?
Where,
no, that's probably not true.
Where
that sounds like a lie.
Alex just believing his own history lesson. Yep, right about 1850, they started putting different things in there.
Where's the link?
I don't fucking know. Oh, I don't have it off the top of my head. Bronson, drop the URL in chat. Rhiannon was showing me it earlier. I just kind of assumed it was floating around the chat rooms. I'm sure Bronson will drop it shortly. The client
don't put a space, spell out the .com or .net so you don't get flagged.
Yeah, you gotta like type it out. Bronson at yourmom.com DOT.
It's B engraved is the name of his
it is B. It's B for Bronson. That's right. B dash engraved. I don't did he get bengraved.com? Because that'd be
pretty good. Miranda had a great question for you. Alex, did you actually check with someone who has color vision? What if it wasn't blue in the custom?
Well, the way we've been doing things, actually, gentlemen, Miranda, the way that we've been doing things lately, I set my, like where I do the overhead shots when we're doing unboxings and stuff, I just set my laptop up on that desk, and then Rhiannon just like asks me questions when she doesn't know what to do. And I've totally checked out because I don't want to influence the way that she's like trying to figure out how to like run jobs and stuff. So if she gets really, really stuck, I'll like get up and like walk around the desk and like go look at the setup and like, or double check like a focus or something if she's feeling like super uneasy about it. But for the most part, like I'm totally checked out. So she ran it and she said it was blue and she sees color. So screw you guys.
Yeah, take that.
Yeah.
By the way, it was definitely like green or a teal, and she was just like, I'm gonna make Alex look so stupid. Like, oh my god. Alex froze. He's dead.
Poor Bronson. Beengraved.com. It is beengraved.com.
Oh, there you go.
It almost looks like Bengraved. Bengraved.
Bensgrave.com.
Yeah, who died, Ben?
Rip Ben.
Rip. The pen is blue. They're all 4 lights. Sorry.
I'm just getting a GoDaddy landing page.
Yikes. Come on, Anthony. Don't you have a direct like red phone that just goes to Bronson?
I was actually going through my iMessages with him, and I couldn't find the link to the website.
Says, I'm dead. Sorry, bro.
Sorry you had to hear it here first.
Yeah. Sorry I had to find out this way, dog. But we see dead people.
beengraved.llc.com. How's that?
Oh! Been engraved, Lilk. All right, I see it.
This is the part where Rhiannon edits out the dead air. Oh, wham! Look at that. It's pretty sick.
Looks good.
There was one thing that he did that
nice
I really
nails,
liked.
bro.
that YouTube video. So we won't play it now, obviously, because people listening won't be able to see it. But if you go to beengraved.llc.com and watch the YouTube video that Bronson did, it's really nice. He like talks about his business and what he can offer you and why you should go to him over other people. And just like having the video on the page, I felt like was super interactive and targeting. I've never put like a video with voice on it, I guess, on like my business website, and it was a really nice touch. It was really cool, so I would urge you guys to go check that out. And then just like his contact form, and it's like super straightforward. Yep. I didn't click browse products. Can we check that out real quick? Yeah, look at that. He's got his little shop set up and everything. It's tight, dude. You did a good job, Bronson.
Bronson, you need to add the Sarah McLachlan song to the background of your video when you're pleading to people on why they should use you. He needs to add
the Sarah McLachlan song to that picture that he used from his high school senior photos. Can you click that?
Can we get can you go down to the bottom there with the 5x7 metal photos?
I bet this is popular at the college.
Oh, the spanky paddles? Yeah, totally.
What do you want to see, Matt?
I want to see that picture of Bronson.
Yeah, scroll up right there, 5x7.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Let's look at the magic that he can do for you here.
In the arms of the angels.
Oh, you can zoom in too. Oh man, he's really selling something on this website. Way to go, Bronson.
It's not his body. This is a Christian website.
His skills. It's his skills for sure.
Oh man,
it looks good, dude. So anyway, I just wanted to I really liked it, and I really wanted to share it with you guys today because I thought he did a nice job. I don't know if I'm crazy about the font, but that's okay. It's a really nice website. It's got great big pictures. It's easy to find his contact information. He did an awesome video for himself, all on his own. Like he didn't have anybody do a voiceover for him. He like just literally handled it. Threw it up, and he's got it up on his site, and I think that's pretty rad. And it looks like he has links to his social media down there in the footer too, so he's got all the bases covered. And I was stoked on it. So with that said, we're at 27 minutes. It's that time. So let's rewind the chat, guys, and let's start smashing some questions. This is what y'all came for.
How's the shop setup going, Kyle? Slowly but surely. As you can see, my current shop is in disarray behind me.
Or as you can't see, rather.
As you can't see. Well, you can sort of see it. So that's a work in progress. But yeah, work's getting done. It's going to be a process. And my back is good. Thank you, Laura.
Nice.
I just have the pinched nerve.
Famous last words.
Vacfink says, question for the group. Today on my 80-watt mom port CO2 during a 2-hour engrave, I started hearing a short noise and then started getting tank tread marks on Y direction that looked like belt interval. Belt seems tight, no debris in it that I can see. Your gantry might not be square. So if you imagine my hands are your y-axis and this is your x-axis, and as your head is traveling from coordinate to coordinate on the gantry, if your y-axis is shifted, it's going to make your x-axis bind depending on where it is. And it's going to become more apparent as it drags down the x-axis and it's traveling on the y. So if your y-axis is straight, it should travel nicely up and down and left and right. And if it's kind of trapezoidal, right? Mm-hmm. Where the y-axis is coming together or at one end or the other, it's going to bind, and the y-axis belts are going to not be happy.
So the other thing that I will just tack on to the end of that, and it's probably Kyle's thing, but if it's not, and you're sure that your gantry is square, check your check your power supplies that are powering your stepper motors. Because if one's going and it's not giving the full voltage that the stepper motor needs, but only on one axis, it could cause a problem like that too. But it's probably Kyle's thing.
I'm just trying to think of what else could cause the belts to seem like they're binding or leaving marks.
I kind of want to see the picture of the treads. I can't. I'm having like a hard time picturing it, but I'd like to see that.
I check into those, and worst case scenario, if you're at a loss, go either on the Discord, the Facebook, or the LMA and make a support forum post with photos and what you just wrote in your description, and let us know what you've checked so far, and we can dig into it as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Have you properly lubricated your Pangus?
True, but don't use that though, because that's a
Pang Shang.
Not on the belt. Don't.
Yeah,
lubricate
that's
your belt.
That's a naughty. That's a naughty lubricant. Don't pang shang your fucking CO2 laser. That would be bad.
Well, we just had an episode like what, a couple months.
No,
ago?
we did.
We talked about it.
So
you want white lithium grease.
Yeah, just make sure your rails. Yeah, you want to make sure your rails are properly lubricated.
Speaking of,
that was just my 2 cents.
When I get my CO2 laser moved, I will be doing a maintenance video.
Hell yeah, dude, that'd be boss.
Because I have to double check all my beam alignment, and I haven't actually lubed my CO2 in a while, so it's due for a thorough cleaning and a lubing, as it were. So you have that to look forward to. Kyle gets to lube stuff.
Kyle gets.
Ray says, I know that pulse frequency and power are different for each laser, but can you do a video on what they do and how they work together? Do you want to do your triangle thing?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't want to rehash that because we turned that into like an hour-long podcast episode, which I'm going to reference right now, Ray. So if you go into the Laser Source podcast playlist on the channel, and this is only because it is such an extensive topic. We're a half hour into tonight's episode. We got it early on the one that I actually talked about it on, and we talked about it the whole time. Go watch the exposure triangle episode of the Laser Source podcast. We dig super deep into this topic. And if you want something a little more structured or even written down, you can check out the wiki, and I'll put a link down in the description after the show's over, or maybe Kyle can even go grab it. It's in the FAQ, Kyle, on the wiki. There is a specific wiki entry on the wiki about dealing with, I think it's color marking, but it really does break down how the 3 or 4, if you're including pulse width, interact in terms of ablating or marking a material, and that can be really useful as well because it does provide a physical kind of like reference point as to what your changes are actually doing to the beam. So between those two, I think you'd walk away with a pretty solid understanding of the topic. And I really do recommend that podcast episode. It's one of our best episodes, I think, that we've ever done. And it was because we got asked this very question. So I would highly recommend you check that out. But I know that pulse frequency, I want to make sure I'm still answering the question. I know that pulse frequency and power are different for each laser, but can you do a video on what they do and how they work together? Yeah, this is something we talk about like week after week after week. But the best example of it is definitely the exposure triangle episode. I can't recommend it to you enough. I think that you'll find what you're looking for there for sure.
Yep.
For the life of me, I can't find the link to
Joe, it's all good. Joe's saying, where can I go to sign up for some classes? We offer 2-on-1 laser training, essentially. So usually get like a teacher and a note taker, like today's that we had talked about earlier was Kyle with Rhiannon taking notes. And so it's pretty cool. You can go to lasereverything.net. I don't know. I don't brag about this stuff very often. Lasereverything.net. Let's see. Go to lasereverything.net, click the link at the top. It says training. And then there's a bunch of details in there, including a link to send us an email with instructions on how to let us know what you're looking to get done. And then we'll respond to you. It'll actually be one of us. It's not like a random person or like someone who doesn't know about lasers. It'll be me or Kyle or Rian, and we'll probably respond to that email. And we'll kind of guide you to what you need and how much of it you need, or if you even need trainings. A lot of people don't even need a training. We're like, we have a video on that. Save yourself the $250 or whatever, because it is a little expensive to hog us for an hour or 3, as some people do. But that said, there are a lot of people that do need the one-on-one time, and if you do, we will certainly let you know that, and we'll build kind of like a lesson plan out based on what we need to cover and in how much time, and kind of give that to you. And then we'll chat back and forth a little bit, pick a date, and then we show up. It's in a Google Meet setting, and when you're done, we record the whole thing, so you get a recording you can use as a reference later. And we type up like a whole sheet of notes for you based on what we discussed during your time with us, so that you can focus in the moment on like what we're doing rather than like note taking. The whole system works very well. It's really informative, and I think that if you do end up needing it, there's a lot to gain from it. But yeah, all the information you need, lasereverything.net, click the link at the top that says training, head from there, and you should be in good shape, Joe. Dwayne Dickens says, I've got a guy wanting his clubs engraved, so I like the idea of that video. Yeah, that's exactly actually relevant to what we were just talking about. I want to ask today's training customer, I guess, client, if you will, if we can use his video, because that would be a really cool little kind of like highlight reel of the trainings. Plus, it would let people see like what goes on during them a little bit, like a little peek inside, which could be good for helping people decide if it's something that they think is right for them or not. But
clubs are about that. Interesting because you got a lot of like dynamic change in surfaces and stuff. So it's really cool.
The fuckers are just hard to hold too. It's just a giant rod with like
getting them positioned where they need to be is
it's a fucking massive rod, and it's like all the weight of it is in one spot at the end, and it's just a big pain in the ass. Yeah.
I was gonna say too, like getting the level on it, like having it like to where especially where they want it engraved too, because you're gonna have to like sometimes go this way, you gotta pull it down. It's like a whole thing, man. So I was gonna say, like, wonder how you guys did just the jigging for that. If you were doing like a club, like a set of them,
Yeah.
What in the ass.
Kyle, really quick before I move on, did you find that link?
I can't.
You can't? Okay. So if you go to wiki.lasereverything.net, no, that's wrong. It's wiki.makearmy.io.
That would probably be why I couldn't find it.
Nice.
Yeah, wiki.makearmy.io, guys. And then you click frequently asked questions. And then there's only 2 because I haven't had a lot of time to spend on the wiki. But one of them is directly related to that question we were answering earlier: laser settings, heat generation, and color marking. So the original question was, how do laser settings like speed, power, frequency, and pulse affect color marking? And this article was the answer. This was originally an answer I wrote up for one of our members over at the LMA, the best way to support the channel. And it had gotten extensive enough and thorough enough that I decided to just make it a wiki article and save myself some typing down the line when other people inevitably had questions. So again, this is all in reference directly to how these things affect color marking. But at the end of the day, color marking is all about energy density and how the laser affects a specific type of material. And you can extrapolate that very easily into how it's going to affect anything based on what you learn reading this and watching that episode about the exposure triangle, into, just learning kind of how energy density works and what you need to do to get certain marks to behave one way or another by adjusting the settings. So it's a great starting point here. I might even recommend reading this and then watching the exposure triangle episode, because I think it'll be a little easier to digest when we're talking about it quickly like we are now. once you have kind of some background knowledge on it. But a decent little write-up nonetheless. So go ahead and check that one out if you haven't already. John Fogg says UV or fiber for knives, business cards, and coins. I would make the argument just right away, unless you're doing some non-metal part of a knife, that those are all prime fiber things. And I'm usually team UV. I usually say do it with the UV, but I'm all in for fiber. Does anybody want to argue, or do we all agree?
No, 100% fiber.
You can get a better bang for your buck if you're just doing those three things, for sure.
Yeah. You can get a much better deal on a fiber and achieve all of those things. And a UV arguably would do a worse job on knives, I think, because you're going to spend longer doing it, and you're not actually engraving into the metal. You're only surface marking it. So if it's a knife that's going to get used, it's probably going to wear off faster.
I'd argue, like, if you're doing like a bunch of fancy knives that have like bone handles or like wood, or they have like leather sheaths or something, like if you're doing a lot of accessories or handles. Like Swiss Army handles, polymer handles. It's a good point. When you get out of that normal metal range, like that's where the UV is really going to start to be useful. But if we're just talking about marking blades or metal handles, which the vast majority of knives are, then the fiber is going to be the way to go. Also, I've done some sick business cards with the UV, but I still think generally, even though the fiber can't match it in performance, that the fiber ends up being the better tool for the job. So just also a little asterisk on that.
With the fiber, you can get a larger field of work, so you can batch stuff easier if you're doing things. So
great point. That
would be something. So like, I mean, I don't know the current prices, but I know they were like $6,500 for a 5-watt not too long ago. For $6,500, you could buy two, or at least you used to be able to buy two. Pretty decent, like 50-watt JPTs probably. I'm sure you can find that right now. Or if you're just doing like really like surface marking stuff, you could even get the Rakis if you know what you're looking for. So you could get a couple of different machines, a larger work area, all kinds of stuff to really crank stuff out. Or if you can kind of get like a MOPA, really nice one like Anthony. I think you got the 60-watt, right?
No, I'm a 50, just like you, bro.
50? Okay. Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I thought you had a 60. I know Kyle's got like the 3,000, the 100, the 250.
Right. I do not. You got the 20. Man. You got the 20.
Yeah.
I got a 60, a 100, a 50.
Keep going.
And a 30.
I have the 30, a 60, and an 80 for 5.
And they all do great. Like honestly, they all
do great.
Well.
Yeah. I can even eke some performance out of the 30 with a 300. So
the 300 on a 30 is a great lens unless you want a deep engrave. I mean, it'll do everything else. I mean,
or if you're doing an astronomical amount of copper.
That is a really good point, Matt. I'm glad you brought that up. Batching things not happening on the UV. You're doing one card at a time, and with the fiber you can retain all your power and do fucking 8 or whatever. So, solid. All right, Noah's next. Noah's got a multi-part message here. I'm back. I have a GPT 100-watt big boy, and I'm using the 175 lens with a focal distance of 254. My question is, I have autofocus with the machine, and it focuses to like 330 something instead of 254. But it engraves great at 330. When I bring it down to 254, it doesn't engrave at all, which I'm assuming means it's out of focus. How come the autofocus and manual focus is different?
I think we all want to jump on this and straight away.
So bad. Yeah, so bad. F equals 254 is, first of all, it's an approximate focal distance.
It's not.
It's like the category it lands in.
They're making it. All lenses are different, right? Go ahead, Anthony. You look so sad, dude. Go nuts.
Okay, so
in the back right now, like.
This is something that I've gone like real deep in with this lens video I've been working on for the last couple months. The F value is like basically, if you take the field size of the lens and then you divide it by the tangent of the maximum input angle of the lens, that's how you get your F value. So if you have a 300 millimeter lens, the maximum input angle is X number of degrees, then they divide those two things, and that's how you get your F value. So it's really a theoretical number, because with F theta lenses, you have anywhere between 2 and 5 elements inside that lens that have different concave, flat, and convex surfaces. And the combination of all those things will actually lengthen your physical focal distance. So your focal height is like, you could measure it from the bottom of the lens to the surface where the lens is actually in focus. That's almost always going to be 30% longer than the actual F value for the lens, is my experience. So if you have a F420 is, a 300 millimeter lens, you're going to end up, if you multiply 420 by 0.7, it's right around 300. So you're kind of like, so the F value is, with other lenses, it's an approximate, or it's more accurate, but with an F theta lens, because of the way that multiple elements kind of interact with each other, it seems, it actually pulls that focal height up higher. So that's kind of what I've found.
Yeah. And to add to what Anthony said, if you're really trying to find that actually manually, the video that Alex made ages ago, which is how to manually focus your video using light and sound, is the best way to start to learn about that. Everything, like all the mathematical genius stuff that Anthony just said, turns into what practice is when you can literally hear and see it. And that's it. And so you find out where the light starts. So basically you start at the highest point. Here's your substrate. You pull your focal distance down until you start to hear sound. And then you go all the way down until you stop hearing sound. And basically, if you take height 1 and height 2 and you divide, like you add them together and divide by 2, that puts you in the median spot, the average. And that's pretty much where you're going to be in focus the most, right? Like that's going to be your optimal focus point. But that's, I think, the way that I figured it out ages ago. And I still, even for my UV, I still do the exact same thing. Like when I've got a weird surface. So
I'm gonna learn so much from that fucking lens video if you ever make it.
I'm excited to see the math on it, because it's just gonna be like
like you could also do something like this where you take a 45-degree angle or whatever angle,
I think the important thing. Oh, okay.
If you make, oh my god,
there you go.
If you take an angled block and put a card on it and draw a rectangle like I did there and have it go from top to bottom on the card, what it does is it also gives you the same data, and you measure from the lens down to the card, and it also gives you a visual indicator of what your focal range is.
I don't want to confuse Noah, because Noah sounds like his autofocus works. Mm-hmm. And if your autofocus works, dude, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like, just if you want to learn more about finding focus manually so you can try out different lenses, because your autofocus isn't going to work for all your lenses, it's only going to work for one.
Right.
Definitely follow up on the resources. Then everything that we're saying is relevant. But if that's your lens, dude, and it works, like, great. Forget it. Like, just let it go. It's good to know that there's a reason why it's that way. Why isn't it 254 millimeters? And again, we talk about that a lot on the channel. Anthony's gonna have a smart person video coming out about that. But the real point is, if your focal distance is 330 millimeters, dude, your focal distance is 330 millimeters. Write that shit down somewhere.
That's okay. That's what I was going to say. So when I was working for the channel last year, and every morning it was LMA and Kyle was doing LMA at night, and we were back and forth on that, we had somebody who had exactly what Alex just said. They were like kind of perplexed by the fact that literally the exact same situation you're in. And the best advice we could give him, because he had a machine, apparently there are autofocuses where you can like auto save height 1, height 2, height 3, and then once you gear it to number 1, like you basically kind of like you're pressing like a seat in your car where they have like the auto save distances and like setups. So whenever they would hit 1, it would go and get to where it was. 2, it would kind of raise up. So if you've got one that has multiple foci that can be saved, like focal distances that can be saved, that's something. Read your manual for sure. I know it sounds silly to say, but that the person literally was like, oh my God, yeah, I can do 3. Hey, great. So it might be like Alex said that you just got 1. I just forgot the LMA. That was like, yeah. So join the LMA, by the way, and share that kind of stuff there, because there's other people who have run into that. And so, like Alex said, literally just on a piece of paper, my 420 lens, my 350, whatever lens, however you want to label them, just know that distance, and then when it's time for it, you can punch it in, hit reset, and it will autofocus for you. So that'd be the practical way to do that.
Nice.
Before we move on, one other practical thing to remember too is think of your laser, particularly your Galvo laser, as a projector. So if you're not consistent with your focus, your scale tuning is going to be off. So if, for example, you calibrated your lens for a certain output size, and then you drop the laser down to a different focal point, your scale has now shrunk. Just like if you took a movie projector and dragged it closer to the wall. And vice versa, if you defocus further away from the object from where you calibrated it, it's going to make it larger and blow out the image a little bit. Not necessarily relevant, but it is an important factor to consider.
Noah got way more than he bargained for on that one.
He was like,
Joe says, I have a Commarker B450 watt non-MOPA fiber laser with light burn. What class would be good for it? Again, it depends on what you want to do, Joe. If you just have a couple questions and you want us to focus on those, like an hour would be fine. If you have absolutely no idea what you're doing and you need like to do a complete setup from literal scratch, maybe 2 or 3 would be better. A lot of people will get 3 and then they do 2. Like with Kyle, loves doing these. You'll do 2 hours and then like wait a week and try to figure things out from there, and then come back with your follow-up questions and do a 3rd hour. So that is a way that a lot of people like to do it. But again, definitely send us an email, because we'll be able to sort out the details with you and make sure that you're getting just what you need and not too much. So that's the best way to do it. Again, it's lasereverything.net, and then click the link at the top of the page that says training. Dwayne.
Another thing to keep in mind too is we have thousands of hours of content on the channel, and that's a lot to fish through. But if there's a specific subject you're looking for, if you go to the channel homepage, up on the top right, there's a magnifying glass, and it's not the one all the way at the top. It's the one down to the right, like in line with the other channel menu items, and you can search for specific subject matter. And if you also go to the playlist tab, which is on that same menu line, we have the Lightburn for Gantry or Lightburn for Galvo Crash Course, which Alex has put an exorbitant amount of time into, and I added a little here and there, and that will often get you started. So at least you're not spending your money on the basics, and we can work on more advanced topics with you. That way, at least you know you're getting the best value for your money as well.
Yeah, and if you ever can't find a video that you think exists, like, you can always ask, but it takes us 5 seconds to answer those questions, and we don't mind answering them. We know our catalog of videos like the back of our hands. It's literally zero effort for us to be like, we have a video on that, here's a link, and we're happy to do that. I will literally do that all day long. So if you're looking for something specific, let us know. We have less than 6 minutes left. That means it's time for the lightning round. We're going to go as fast as humanly possible here. I don't want to leave any of you guys behind.
Music for this.
Dwayne says, Matt, did you get your CO2 Galvo going again?
Yeah, I didn't know that it stopped.
Great.
So good to go.
This just did. Your CO2 Galvo's fucking up.
Oh shit. No, like it did get messed up. Kyle and I'll have to still do a quick fix on it to make it run for a long time, but basically it'll run for about an hour and a half before it takes a poop. So it's static build up on the board.
Nice. We love that.
Smile and nod, Bronson. Smile and nod.
Okay. Bam. I mean, okay. Oh, what do you do when you get a call and someone said, "Oh, I heard your price to engrave a name on a necklace is $35. This is coming from a jewelry store that told them this, and I normally charge $15." Yeah, smile and nod. Great. Good lightning round answer, Anthony.
Well done. I can do it for 25.
Let's see. GDS Woodcraft. Are there any tips for videoing shorts of laser engraving for YouTube? I like to use my phone for simplicity reasons. The shield glares back and shows my face, and if you minus the shield, and the shield equals laser glare.
Try a different angle because you're probably getting IR backsplash directly to your camera lens.
Or, I mean, again, so as a video professional, I have been videoing lasers for a very, 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 very long time, and I've never destroyed a camera ever filming lasers going. So my advice to you would be ditch the shield, protect your eyes with protective eyewear, and appropriately spec'd eyewear, and then video the laser directly.
And if you mess with your exposure a little bit, sometimes it'll knock out a lot of that like haloing effect that you'll end up with. Because I've used 3 different phones on my lasers and have gotten like really good video, in my opinion, at least, by just kind of messing with the exposure. So
yeah, sure. If you take a look at our shorts on YouTube, I mean, you'll see I virtually never shoot through a shield unless I'm using one for myself for some personal reason that I for some excuse, I don't have like glasses. I think there was one where Rhiannon and I were doing a massive batch job, and it was annoying to take the glasses on and off every 30 seconds. So we used that little Mactron like door shield thing, but I would never film through that. So goggles, film it directly. Matt, did you have a comment on glasses really quick before we move on?
I was going to say, like, if you've got an extra pair of glasses that are clear and also, like, do that, you can actually filter out some of that halo effect, like Anthony said, but the exposure, like, if you're really just trying to, like, show somebody something real quick, right? If you really are that worried.
Yeah. But you shouldn't be worried. Seriously, it's been literal years and years and years, hundreds and hundreds of hours of video.
I think they just want the glare not to be like showing them in the video, like they want the focus on the product. So
yeah, I hear you.
I think it'll be good.
Ditch the shield. TJ Michael says laser everything. Looking for UV laser recommendations. UV laser, any recommendations? Thanks. I think the go-to is like 10 watts now, but I still don't think most people need 10 watts unless you're doing something.
Is it really 10 watts then?
Great. Yeah, I think that's kind of the go-to is like 10 watts. Now, prices have dropped pretty substantially, but I think you can get away with a 5. So if you're on a budget and you just want to get into UV, I wouldn't sit here and try to talk you out of getting a 5 watt. But, take a look around. We have a lot of recommendations on our buying guide, which you can find over at, that's also at makearmy.io. And I'm actually working on the buying guide right now, so it might not be up. But we always have a link to the buying guide down in the description. So if it doesn't load for you right now, because I'm literally in the middle of working on something for the buying guide right now, it'll load tomorrow or the day after. So you can always swing back around and check that out then, TJ. Hope that helps you. Bronson, do you guys still have the one where you did the Photoshop on tumblers? It was like one of those Saturday Google Meet things. Maybe.
Are you talking about the
check
one?
The archives.
I think he's talking about the one where we did the live day. Matt was doing the UV printer thing. Not the DTF. What's it called?
Sublimation.
Help me out here. Thank you. Just watching me struggle. Thanks, Matt.
I had no idea where you're going. I was like, the BDF.
Matt did the sublimation thing where he did the thing, and then I did a template for a full wrap, and then it was on a live day. It wasn't in the title, but it was a me and Matt thing.
I think he's talking about the LMA episodes from like a year and some change ago.
Yeah,
we were doing
that
all
would
like
be specifically
Saturdays
on the LMA then.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably will be specifically on the LMA. But you're there, Bronson, so you should not have a problem with that. If it's not on the LMA, if you look extensively and you cannot find it, I'm sure I have it in the archives somewhere, and I could probably dig it up. But we can chat about that later. Let's see. Moving on. When does the Kyle widget hit the Etsy shop? The focus widget.
Soon, TM.
Great.
I have to kind of.
You guys like nail a lightning round answer, and then like we're about to move on. You've got like, I've got some sentences about.
Long story short,
I have to finish moving before I can ship stuff, so I don't want to take orders and then be a jerk and make people wait like 2 weeks. So, work in progress.
Right. Next, I'm in the process of buying a JPT MOPA. Can't choose between the 60 or 100 watt. Is the 60 good? If you are cutting, get 100 watts. If you're not cutting, I would get the 60. That's my lightning round answer. Any arguers?
60 is easier to tune. 100 watt if you're willing to spend more time tuning.
I would say
and need to speed.
I would say the same thing because lenses get more expensive after you hit 100. Things get a little wonky, and then on top of that, when you're trying to do calculations, they get a little bit strange too, which Anthony might mention in his video. I don't know, but I would go for 60 watt and then save some of the extra money and buy some stuff to learn and burn.
Plus the 60 watt, just like more people have them, so you're gonna have a larger community of peers to like help you out.
It'll also be a lot easier to find a 60 watt at a reasonable price that maybe is already in the country, so you don't have to deal with the tariffs that was on the last episode.
All right, guys, don't go crazy. We have minutes. We're over time, actually. Eli, I've asked this before, but are there any tips on how to get a CO2 Galvo to give better engravings on cast acrylic, primarily clear cast acrylic? My lightning round answer is if your CO2 Galvo is capable of continuous wave, use it when you're marking cast acrylic. Continuous wave is always going to yield better results when working with cast. Not all, in fact, I'd probably argue most do not have continuous wave capability, but the ones that do can do a fair job with cast. When you're working with a pulsed laser, getting a good mark on cast acrylic is nigh near impossible, and you're gonna be on the struggle bus with that one. But anybody else want to toss in over that before we go to the last question?
Maybe if you can't do continuous because it's an RF tube, the lowest frequency you can reasonably hit, and it's going to be slower speed.
Yeah, because if you go too high on the speed, your pulses will be too spaced out.
Your pulse frequency, you're going to basically be making a crack line instead of an engrave. Yeah.
That was going to be my tip: is just play with the frequency because again, depending on your power, that changes frequency output. Yada yada yada. But like, play with that because I've had some success, and when I say some, I mean like this piece did great, the next piece did okay, the next piece I wouldn't give to anybody. So it's still one of those things where even then it's like struggle bus, like Alex said.
They are classically considered incompatible, that material and that machine. So you're definitely fighting an uphill battle. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's impossible, but if you figure it out, tell me, please, because I'd love to hear more. Last but not least, and this is a good one to end on. Velv Creation says, curious what your favorite laser is at the moment. All four of you. Anthony, go.
The one my cats chase.
Word. Good answer.
UV.
Yeah, done. Matt.
You make your cats chase UV. CO2. CO2 Galvo. Yeah.
Alex, is it really the CO2 Galvo? You fucking
I've got a ton of acrylic that I've been doing, and I make a bunch of that too, like the duets and the 2-layer, the laser max, like all the kind of stuff, dude. And it's making me a bunch of money fast.
My favorite laser currently is this is probably the fucking UV. I hate to be a bandwagoner, but it's just so fucking good.
I'm gonna say the 60 watt fiber, because it's a little more approachable for most people, and because Anthony called out UV, and I have the same one
He
already.
didn't ask what's most approachable. He asked what your favorite was.
It is my favorite because
which is the
I'm
one
an educator and I help people learn.
Kyle. Which one?
And also, Matt has the same CO2 Galvo as me, so they covered it for me.
A fucking
High five, guys.
non-answer. You fucking giant group of schmucks. Anthony's the only one with a reasonable. Shut up! All my favorites is CO2
It's the one
Galvo.
that makes me the most money quickly. You know
all
what?
right, guys, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching this show where Matt's favorite laser is the one that can't operate for more than an hour without literally fucking exploding. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to smash the like button. Let everybody else know the content was good. It takes a half second to smash the like button, guys. Go do it really quick. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time we go live. We do this every Tuesday at 9 p.m., guys. So if you didn't get your question answered today, and I think we got through most of them, swing by next week, 9 o'clock. We're going to do this again. If you don't want to wait that long, consider supporting the channel. masters.lasereverything.net. It's the number one way to support the channel. We've got a ton of bonus goodies over there for you and the absolute best laser community on the planet, bar none. You get direct access to everybody that's chilling on the channel all the time, the people you see in the videos. That's where we're at. If you want to ask questions, we've got forums over there, and we've got live chat. We've got direct messaging, like every possible way you could want to get help. We have it set up over there. It's amazing. The Laser Master Academy has helped so many people. I'm super proud of it. If you don't want to spend any money right now or can't, which, times are weird, there are other ways to get help. We have a fabulous Discord server with a lot of really dedicated people that spend their time like selflessly helping others. It's pretty amazing to see. You can also find some pretty good help over on the Facebook group. We got links to that and all of the other places you can do laser everything stuff down in the description. One more shout out to our podcast sponsor, Johnson Plastics Plus. We love you guys. New episodes coming out soon on the big pile of stuff they sent over. Go watch the unboxing. Kyle sells repeatable patterns for laser engraving. So if you want easily tileable, repeatable patterns, make sure you check out the Kyle link down in the description. He's got like hundreds of options at this point, and I know that library is just growing. And Mr. Anthony over here, Mr. Really Smart Big Brained, I'm making a lens video for 3 months that's going to melt Alex's brain, sells tape. So if you want some tape, head over to beamituplasertape.com. Is that right? Boom. There's a link to that down in the description too. Buy some tape. Sick. It's sick tape. You can put it on stuff as a mask, and then your stuff is masked, and
you can wear it as a mask.
You could wear it as a beard. You could cut it into a shape and give yourself a little Anthony style goatee. I don't know. I'm out. You guys, any final words?
Yeah, when the stream ends, hit refresh and leave a comment on what your favorite laser is.
Yeah, do that. Definitely do that.
And
all
if
the
you're
comments.
listening to this on a podcast service, leave us a review and do the same thing.
Yeah, especially on Apple Podcasts. People hate us on there. So leave us a 5-star review and say, I don't know what the haters are saying. This show is amazing. That's not true. I think we only have 5-star reviews on there. Add yours. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Laser Source Podcast or listening. If you're joining us from a podcast service, that's all I've got. So we will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.